Why do you think the super app have no chance with where we are going with AI and chat commerce and everything in between that?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of inspiration from China, right?
You're mentioning apps and where we are heading into. I think for the past 2-3 years, the telco and the banks and these big guys, they've been mostly being inspired by one of them. I won't say who, but like they're starting building up these super apps. And by super apps is the application that you use with one primary goal, let's say transferring money, the mobile app from one telco, and then they start adding up and bringing up other businesses. Like you can do this, you can do this, you can do this within one application. We share the same opinion. I think you wrote at this once about you think the super app is dead, and I believe maybe with now Agentic AI and everything, maybe the super app could have a chance to be able to, give at least a customized experience to each user specifically. Why do you think the super app have no chance with where we are going with AI and chat commerce and everything in between that?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of inspiration from China, right?
The WeChat, right?
Yeah, the WeChat, of course, the WeChat. So I think a lot of inspiration from there, and so I think telco, they've evolved their business model over time. Right now, telco, you think of telco as they're selling airtime. All the telco want to be tech companies. Yeah, that's why all apps comes. I think basically initially it was about replicating the same service they're offering to like more of an app. But right now they want to be tech companies. They want to go beyond that and really touch people in different point of view, which I think is a very, very good idea. But there's one problem, right? The app economy itself is not really working for Tanzania. The app economy is not actually working well. Like the app that people use are very, very, as I said, is WhatsApp or Nini. And so it means one of the things I think you can build, the habitual formation is very hard to do. So the problem is not the product; it doesn't work, or the product works and it's maybe it's good, but like you have very, very strong habitual formation of how people do things on a separate app, and then telco want to do it on on their own app, of which I think it will be a barrier, given like starting from how many people use mobile app, even those one that used by telco, how many of them don't use a USSD to buy, they go for the mobile app. And now if I want to order food, I go to a telco app. So I think there's a bit of, so I think for what I wrote, I think if you look at something like China, it's something you might know, right? For China, a lot of people already use WeChat, right? Like a lot of people use WeChat is a main app, but sometimes the payment is unified, right? It means if people want to pay, it's unified, it's human logistics, everything is the infrastructure. Hawana sisi in Africa wanataka to avoid the institution, right? We lack basic infrastructure, ambazo it means a lot of stuff you need to do. You need to invest like you're building an institution and then you're building your products. So for them, everything is ready. That's why everything is working seamless. But if you look at Africa, still like we don't have that. We don't have that very seamless integration with this institution. But I think the strong one is look at habitual formation. If you look at habitual formation, they had their shot. I think they had their shot. And it's nobody buying something. Using telco, like I don't buy anything for using my telco app. I just use it for buying airtime, for buying GB. So I think for me the strong part was the habitual. It's very underrated. I'll tell you an example. Like I'm following ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Do you think it's the best chatbot in the market?
No, really.
Not really.
Yeah. They're fair. They are fairly upcoming good ones competing.
They led and they're very good.
Yeah.
But the users of ChatGPT don't switch.
They don't.
Today, Grok might come with the best AI model, and the user might not switch.
Is it not because they have a first mover advantage?
No, that's not like peer. Someone think okay, they say okay, it knows me too much. I've built my habit of formation of listening. So there's certain kind of like, look at Google. Let me take Google. Why people use Google? Is Google better than Bing or better than any search engine?
No. Yes, because they built over time.
No, that might be a reason. But
in terms of experience, in terms of what now?
Yeah. So I saw something about what do you think is the defensibility of Google?
They made the user experience very simple.
I mean, maybe that, but I think what they're talking about, even if people know you, like people shop on a habit of formation around one product, they don't switch. They don't switch. They rarely switch. And now coming to telco, it means they need to start building new, very habit of formation around people buying pattern and spending time on telco apps is only when I'm making transactions. No, I don't have any other. But look at what I'm doing on WhatsApp. It's massive, right? I'm doing everything. Loan, nazime kumi mzee nakurudishia kesho. Lete delivery niko hapa. Like I do everything. I have a lot of habit of formation there. So if you try to bring my experience of buying food where I spend time doing that ordering of food, I'm more like to try it than taking me to some place I've never been and telling me, oh, you can now order food here. So it seems like just because you can build it somewhere else, it means people will switch. But no, it doesn't. People don't switch.
Yeah, but what are the chances? What are the chances with Agentic AI and being able to leverage that? This is where I'm going with this, right?
Yeah.
I buy power Luku. Luku every, let's say, 25th of the month. Most people do that if they are on on a payroll. Every end of the month they will either pay their bills and whatsoever. All right. Now, what if my finance app, the one that you use to transact, be it a bank or a mobile money, can be able to now predict that behavior of like this guy every time of this time they're coming in to buy power. So I might not be there to do the thing, but if I've been given right cues, I might be convinced to do that. So end of the month, I go to my banking app to check if my salary is there. That's a habit, all right? I'm going to my banking app, check my salary, if the salary is there, all right? Immediately, if it is there, I then start thinking of how am I spending? And now when I die, there's this, I have a bill to pay, I have this to pay, I have this to pay. If the timing is right, if things are placed right, that habit could be formed. Because, all right, the direction that WhatsApp started, right, is like what you see now. They're bringing up forms and they're bringing it to your application, audio, calling, and everything, right? Built iteratively, and some of these habits they were developed and they were intelligently cued for us to be trapped into them. Okay, so look at the change of, let's say, status on WhatsApp. So WhatsApp started with status. Status was like a tweet. Early days, it was like a tweet status. It was not even like on stories. I think that they stole that
from Snapchat,
right? No, stole, like they copycat from Snapchat, right?
Yeah.
But then status was like update your status. It was like I am on my way. Like I'm in a meeting. Something. It was just a very simple limited text. But then they took what worked in other platform, brought it to WhatsApp, and now people built a habit around that, posting for advertisement. Now the WhatsApp status is used for advertisement and people selling product on WhatsApp. You find people having very long chain of WhatsApp. So they innovated around like, okay, this is where people coming here, and maybe you can be able to build something up. So we now and then access these so-called super apps to do some activities. I'm investing on UTT, for instance.
Yeah.
All right. But only if the app that I'm using, the platform that I'm using is, I think there's that feature in one of the banks. setting up auto deduction. I'm not sure it's very smooth. I've not tested it. Setting up auto deduction from my account to a certain investment account. And if they could be able to put that in a proper sequence, innovatively, all right. I don't want to spill the beans here.
No.
But like if one could be able to think strategically and put everything in place there, that habit could be formed. Because what you need to form a habit, you need a trigger, like cause of action, a trigger, then an action will follow, and things will fall in sequence that way.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the same habit that people looked at WhatsApp for communication, I'll text, I'll call, that was it, right? Now you're building Gala, people are doing transaction, all right, on it. You are bringing up that habit, and I believe some surprises to some your customer on Gala, whether you could receive payment direct from WhatsApp, and they go, WhatsApp, they'll be able to pay me, but the layers of software you've been able to put in place, the USSD push and everything, for them is like, oh, this is all WhatsApp. But we've leveled the ecosystem of the phone and what WhatsApp had built and the APIs and everything to be able to create that habit. So the innovation bit that you're putting up is now creating habit for people to be able to do the transaction. What China had and everything to create that pattern for people to be able to buy on WeChat and trust WeChat and things, it's doing more than buying. There's so many things being done on WeChat, right? So I think it's just the point of staying on the edge of innovating and looking where we're at. And maybe, where we live, super app are not completely dead. Maybe they have a chance with Agentic AI. I will end there.
Yeah. So just that somewhere.
happy to challenge and like yeah.
So for me, I say people who use GPT, they still use Google. A lot of them, like Mimi. If I want AI to write something for me, I want to do something, I'll use GPT. But if I want to search, I will not go to ChatGPT.
Okay.
I'll go to Google.
Okay.
Because Google is, I know what is for search. And that's why Google still is working. Like all this challenge, but Google is still the leading number one, and still most of, if you think of search, you might not think of it. So if you want to search, you go to ChatGPT.
Okay. Yes and no.
No.
Yes and no. Personally, my visit to google.com has drastically dropped.
Okay.
All right. I believe it is the case for other people as well. Why am I saying that?
Mm-hmm.
The habit and where we're coming from, like Africa and Tanzania, generally, the way people used to visit Google. Like the non-technical people, they don't use Google. They do not use Google the way we use Google. They don't use ChatGPT the way you use ChatGPT. You have your one thread conversation. If this is for article, do this and something like that, right? But now I just introduced one of my fundi electrician to ChatGPT. That guy did not sleep that night, but that's not the story. The thing is, he used to search for things like if he was having a complex challenge on wiring or something, he would go and search. All right. But right now, I bet if we ask him, he probably have not visited Google for a while because he's relying on ChatGPT. All right.
Yeah.
Now, where am I going with this? I personally use Google in these occasions. If I need like a paper, like a research, something that is done to verify some of the things, I'll go and search and look for inspiration. If it's a document, it's a strategy I'm looking for, I'll go and look for that. And just to be able to build up that, like I need to learn and I need to read and, fill up the human intelligence first before I go to ChatGPT to streamline things and things like that. So I'll go to do that at least I'll be able to use it that way. All right. I wrote an article about this, and I think that's why I'm very much reserved in terms of how that Google still has the superiority on search versus the upcoming things. I said I share like a human might not visit a website our like the normal website as we go compared to the way you bring up tools. Like people bring like, do you have a website for e-commerce? Let's say e-commerce used to be a website, but then we're moving e-commerce to WhatsApp. So the traffic of that e-commerce platform, it's even the appetite of people going and starting browsing and everything. Now you're moving it to WhatsApp yourself, all right? And the same case just happened the other day. Someone was looking for, best software development company in Tanzania, whatsoever, and ChatGPT referred IPF softwares. Okay, that person reached out and after conversation, you should thank ChatGPT for recommending your company. So they are building up on top of what Google had already built, a foundation of SEO, and that search engine optimization that Google did, because the search engine results is what at least help people to say, like, what you see on top, this is legit, this is more good, and compared to other pages. Okay, and if where we're going with ChatGPT, the earlier versions did not have latest information, but as we go, the scraping is better, the real-time information becomes better and better. I think the traffic on search, specifically search engine, is going to drop as we go.
Yeah, I think you're very optimistic on ChatGPT. Yeah, so